Ladies and gentlemen, the signing ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. So please turn off your cell phones or put it on silence before the signing ceremony begins. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, the signing ceremony will begin soon, so please be seated. 바로 그냥 without further ado, let us begin 하고 그다음에 네. Yeah, thank you, Minister. 저한테 그걸 Ladies and gentlemen, the two ministers are entering the room at this moment. Please welcome them. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sua Lee, an industry analyst from Korea-Israel Industrial R&D Foundation and a master of Korea-Israel Technological Cooperation Treaty Amendment signing ceremony. First of all, we deeply appreciate Israeli delegation for your efforts to visit Korea for today's signing ceremony despite the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. And our sincere gratitude to the distinguished guests from both countries for your participation out of your very busy schedule. So without further ado, let us begin Korea-Israel Technological Cooperation Treaty Amendment signing ceremony. First of all, let us invite the Minister Seung-uk Moon of Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy of the Republic of Korea for his welcoming remark. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Shalom. First of all, I sincerely appreciate for the Minister of Economy and Industry, Amir Perez, who have come to Korea after a long journey despite the COVID-19 pandemic to sign the amendment to the Korea-Israel Technological Treaty. When the industrial paradigm is rapidly shifting due to COVID-19 and digital transformation, today's amendment to the technological treaty is meaningful for both countries to cooperate with each other for future challenges. Israel is one of the countries, including Korea, with the highest level of R&D investment compared to GDP. Based on active investment in R&D, Israel serves as a key role in global technology innovation. Israel had earned the proud name Startup Nation with the highest number of startups and the venture capital investment per capita in the world. Israel is also an innovation hub with R&D centers for global innovation companies such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Intel, and Cisco. In addition, Israeli startups have successfully developed various technologies used in our daily life, including USB, flash drive, instant messaging apps, autonomous driving technologies, and cybersecurity technologies such as firewall. With a focus on Israel's capability for innovation, Israel and Korea concluded the agreement in 1999 and launched the Joint R&D Fund in 2001, carrying out global technology cooperation at an early stage. For the last 2 decades, both countries have made joint investment of $65 million, supporting a total of 181 joint R&D projects, and producing various results, such as developing new technologies and jointly entering into a third country, thereby creating the sales of about $40 million. In particular, both countries have created synergy for innovation by cooperating with each other in advanced future industries such as information and communication technology and biotechnology. For example, a wireless blood glucose monitoring device developed in 2015 jointly by the Israeli wireless transmission technology company, Glucomi, and the Korean medical device manufacturing company, All Medicus, is one of the exemplary cases for the global technology cooperation, achieving export grown by 70 times in 4 years after the project was completed. As a result of today's amendment, both countries have agreed on doubling the annual amount of joint R&D fund from $4 million to $8 million. This expansion lays the foundation to provide more active financial support for technology cooperation, reflecting the increasing demands for cooperation from companies in both countries. In cooperation with Korea, Israel will put another stepping stone for entering into the East Asian region by means of technology startups and innovation technology. At the same time, Korea will increase access to the global market wider by utilizing the global network of Israel, where many multinational company labs and global venture capital operate. In addition, today's amendment will help expand the support for technology cooperation to other various activities beyond joint R&D and establish a joint R&D center in the future. With these efforts, I look forward to promoting human exchange in both countries and sharing technology development more flexibly and actively. Meanwhile, a FTA between Israel and Korea, which will be signed following today's technological treaty, is a tech FTA. This agreement is more meaningful as it covers not just trading products and services, but includes various technology cooperation items such as big data, AI, IT and BT, aviation, healthcare, and medicine to cooperate for venture and startup support programs. Israel and Korea are geographically distant from each other, but pursue similar values with similar history. With the lack of natural resources, both countries put great emphasis on human resources and education. We also make an active investment in R&D as a major means of economic development to cope with advanced neighboring countries. With the FTA and technology cooperation between both countries, I look forward to building a valuable relationship for the future. I truly believe that Israel and Korea can learn many things from each other with similar values. Toda Raba. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Seung Moon. Please return to your seat and be seated. Next is the congratulatory remark by the Minister Amir Peretz of Israeli Ministry of Economy and Industry. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
His Excellency Moon Jae-in, Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy, distinguished guests, I would like to thank all the participants who joined us today at this South Korea-Israel joint R&D Fund Agreement signing ceremony. We live in a new era where globalization and technological change blurring the physical and economic boundaries. It is the coronavirus that we are facing that has brought us back into proportion in many fields. COVID-19 has proven that it is impossible to distinguish between religious, race, gender, country, or nation. It requires us to think in new terms, more solidarity, more cooperation, and more knowledge sharing. COVID-19 has proven to the world that it breaks down walls and borders in which we must learn to live and sustain economic, social, and cultural activity, even in the shadow of the virus. I am pleased that after several years of negotiation, we succeeded in removing one more economic boundary. Today, South Korea and Israel are signing a free trade agreement that will further strengthen trade ties between the two countries and holds many opportunities for both economies. Over the last years, South Korea and Israel have become the two world leaders in national investment in R&D as a percent of GDP. In 2019, South Korea and Israel's expenditures were about 5% for each country. These are key indicators of the determinants of efforts that both our countries are making to obtain competitive advantage in science and technology, and the Korean Foundation is a good example. In order to continue and increase capital flow to the high-tech market, especially during the COVID-19 crisis, Israel Innovation Authority launched the Institutional Investors Initiative. And this program to provide state guarantees for all the institutional investors that will invest in local high-tech companies in the next 18 months. The program is expected to add about $500 million to the high-tech industry within that period. The South Korea, Israel leadership in R&D foundation that was established 20 years ago aims to promote innovation by supporting mutual industrial research and development projects in the private sector. To that, Israel and South Korea jointly contributes $4 million to support joint projects in industrial field. Since 2001, the foundation supported 187 Israeli and South Korea projects in various fields such as water, digital health, cybersecurity, and other innovative technologies. Today, we gathered to sign an agreement that double each country contributes to $8 million to total and expanded the foundation support to new fields such as healthcare and robotics. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Minister Moon, saying that he finds this meeting as a first meeting for his job now, and I'm sure that this meeting give you a good spirit and the all strong back that you need for everything that you want to do for your citizens. On the Israel side, I would like to thank the Innovation Authority in my ministry and all the people that work very hard for that. And of course, I want to thank you all and say, Kamsaham Bnida. Kamsaham Bnida again. Kamsaham Bnida. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Amir Peretz. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue this ceremony by showing the video clip of technological cooperation outcomes between Korea and Israel. We will witness.
Korea and Israel share a lot of similarities. Despite the lack of natural resources and uneasy national security, both countries have sustained excellent achievement of economic and industrial growth based on highly skilled human resources. Also, both countries are actively pursuing R&D investment with priority of R&D in government policies. As a result, the proportion of R&D expenses to GDP is above 4% in both countries, ranked at the first and second, respectively. Meanwhile, more importantly, industrial characteristics of each country are complementary to each other. We have no doubt that core technology of Israel combined with manufacturing infrastructure of Korea will create strong synergy through cooperation of both countries. Korea and Israel signed the treaty in 1998 with a common goal to create positive economic, social, and other impacts for both countries by promoting innovation and cutting-edge technology for mutual benefits. Based on the treaty, Korea-Israel Industrial R&D Foundation was established in 2001. By utilizing the joint fund of two countries, Korel RDF supports the Korea-Israel joint R&D projects, which have potential in commercializing in various technological fields. Let us introduce some of the joint projects that were successfully completed. The Korean company All-Medicus and the Israeli company Glucomi developed a super small, low-priced, and reliable blood glucose monitoring device. The blood glucose monitoring device developed by combining the Korean company's blood glucose measuring technology and gold electrode testing strip and the Israeli company's sound signal transmission and software technology not only provides accurate measurement of blood glucose, but also lets patients and caregivers easily save the measured data using smartphones. Since the device uses the sound signal transmission technology, it can be provided at a much lower price compared to Bluetooth or NFC. Once the measurement is completed, a buzzer inside the device beeps, and the beep transmits the data in a form of sound. People can easily test their blood glucose levels and see the result with their smartphones. Not only that, by using the measured blood glucose levels, people can manage their health data and get real-time online support from medical professionals. The Smart Water Pollution Responding System is another example of the successful Corel projects, which was developed by the Korean company Corners and the Israeli company Whoosh Water Systems. At the water stations built throughout the city, the developed system can measure the water quality in real time, collect the data, inform people of water pollution or disastrous situation, and finally provide them with emergency instructions. By carrying out the project, they expanded the idea and applied the developed technology to other industrial fields. The Intelligent Evacuation Solution for Active Shooting Emergency is one of the expanded applications, which received the Innovation Award at CES 2020. The collaboration between the Korean company Cure Therapeutics and the Israeli company Orgenesis through Corel Fund is also making the world a better place. They have been developing the single treatment to continuously control glycemia, which will eventually liberate diabetic patients from the constant monitoring of blood glucose level and the daily injection of insulin. The company signed Point of Care joint venture and collaboration agreement in 2018, which strengthened their solid partnership and allowed better mobilization of financial resources. As much as the companies believe their technology will change the world, the successful development of technology is expected.
오제네시스라는 이스라엘 기업을 알게 됐습니다. 그 회사가 당뇨병 세포 치료제를 개발하고 있는데 이게 만약 실제 제품화된다면 당뇨병 환자에게 새로운 건강한 삶을 돌려줄 수 있다. 이런 계기로 같이 공동 연구를 수행하기로 합의를 했으나 여기에 저희들이 신생회사로서 가지고 있는 여러 가지 제약점을 한-이스라엘 연구재단의 국제공동연구 연구비에 대한 지원을 받음으로써 공동연구를 원활하게 시작할 수 있었습니다.
For 2 decades, many Corel projects have had a significant influence on the technology innovation of both countries. As both countries are not yet content with the past achievements, they are implementing the new joint R&D program, which reflects the current trend in rapidly developing industry and technology. Both countries have agreed on the implementation of Lighthouse program for partnership in the field of smart robotics. Thanks to the significant increase of the joint R&D fund, we will take a leap to a new level of cooperation with more than double-sized funding power. The governments of both countries will actively support the program related to the Korea-Israel joint R&D and look forward to much more participation and interest from the companies of both countries.
Now, there will be Korea-Israel Technological Cooperation Treaty Amendment signing ceremony. through today's amendment of the treaty, joint R&D grant will be doubled, and the two countries will continue their full support for technological cooperation to proceed with various forms of cooperative activities. Let us invite two honored ministers of both countries to come up to the stage. Your Excellencies, please sign on the agreement. Your Excellencies, would you exchange the documents? Please sign on the agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we give a big round of applause to celebrate this historic moment? Thank you. We'll exchange the documents. Your Excellencies, would you come forward to take a commemorative photos, please? Your Excellencies, please open your documents. Your Excellencies, open your documents. Once again, congratulations on the leap forward to the bright future of technological cooperation between Korea and Israel. The two honored ministers and the honored guests will take another photographs to commemorate today's historic moments. Those who are being called out, please kindly come up to the stage. I will only address the names without job titles. Ohad Cohen, Nili Shalev, Yaniv Goldberg, Sangmo Kim, Karam Seo, Taehun Choi. Please show us your bright smile to the front camera. Please do smile with your eyes. We need another big applause, please. Thank you, thank you. The two ministers will exchange the gifts. Your Excellencies, please exchange the gifts. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. This is the end of Korea-Israel Technological Cooperation Treaty Amendment signing ceremony. Once again, thank you all for gracing today's signing ceremony with your presence. Thank you.